go share this because we're going to now go to Mean Green for the reveal. James K., how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, doing good, man.
Quit slamming your phone on the
I dropped
table.
it.
Turn
Good
that
job.
mic a little towards him, Bob.
I'm good. I'll be loud.
Yeah. So what up? Your Mean Green is
yeah.
finally here. This has been a long process.
Look at that.
Yeah, I've had the car for a year now.
Has it been a year already?
A year this weekend.
Well, let's tell everybody how this process came to be.
Well, I was talking to you one day, and I told about you I was wanting to build a 5th gen, and I even talked to George Lopez about building one. And I just didn't have the money to build one as much as it was going to cost to do it. So somehow you were talking to JD on a FaceTime or something and saw the car in the back when it was in primer and gray and black. And
He told me he was building a big tire car, and I was like, you're full of it.
it was actually supposed to be a drag week car because it's got the trailer hitch that bolts on it to pull the trailer. It was supposed to be a big block twin turbo car. And we made it, of course, a small block nitrous car because why not do the complete opposite of what it was meant to do?
Yeah, right?
Right.
And then it is stock suspension, even though John Sears says it's not stock suspension. Copos are 4-link from the factory. So it's been transferred over to a Copo car. And it has a stock suspension in it, 4-link. Moser center section. It's got some hellacious Nickens horsepower under the hood. Nitrous outlet, foggers. The car actually has 2 intakes on it. I got a sheet metal dual quad intake, and then I have a cast iron 1 gun, 1 carburetor intake.
Da Vinci carburetor.
Da Vinci carburetors on all 3 carburetors are Da Vinci carburetors. Sand tough suspension. I mean, a lot of people helped me on this car. Mark Banner did an awesome job on the paint. Or Mark
Collision Craftsman.
Collision Craftsman did an awesome job on the paint. I've already scratched it 2 or 3 times. He's over there cringing.
He was walking around earlier with a paint bucket in his hand.
Oh yeah, he got me a gallon of touch-up paint because he knew it was for me. Yeah, open the door. Toby K, my cousin, he wired the car. I think we wired the car for like a week.
It looks great, man.
And he did a terrific job on the wiring. I can wire the car, but it's so much nicer having him do it. He's much more meticulous than I am.
Who is it?
Toby, my cousin,
Yeah.
drives Cole Trickle. Mm-hmm. And I had George Lopez come to the house after I got it back. Well, bought the car, started building the motor for it. The motor was ready in December. I was trying to give it ready for lights out.
Yeah.
Of course, that didn't happen. I was having a wider rear end made for it, so it wouldn't look like a skip leg day. The whole back of the car is carbon fiber, so it's got big. I think it'll fit a big bub underneath it. It'll fit a big tire.
Now, will the big Bubba grow and hit the top of the fender?
I have no idea. All I've had on it so far is when I got it, it had 31 10.5s on it, and now I got 275 Pros on it.
Carbon fiber interior, you mean?
Yeah.
It's still a steel roof and quarters.
Oh, it's still steel roof and quarters. All the interior's carbon fiber. It's got stock floor pans in it. It's got stock front suspension. It's got stock front strut towers. I made Shannon Morgan go look at the car before I bought it, so I didn't hear the trail of tears after I got it. And now, of course, Boosted said he don't care what suspension you have. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so the
But,
No Prep King show, you can run
but-
basically anything on a 275 or a...
I want to be able to run anything, anything and everything. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do with the car. And I just have I have a long list of stuff to think, but we built it. It's been a year of working on the car. The car's been out of my possession when it went to Skinny Man's for him to make the rear end, and when it went to Mark Banner's shop to get the paint done. And actually, when it went to Skinny Man's at first, we were going to cut the 4-link out, put ladder bars on it because John Steers wouldn't let me run the ladder bars. Wouldn't let me run the 4-link. He wants to have ladder bars on it. And Skinny Man had the Sawzall on it, and I called him. I said, "Don't touch my damn car. Leave it alone. Build the wider rear end for it. Let me have it back. I can't cut the 4-link out and go backwards in time."
Yeah.
Right.
So
Well, at the time, there wasn't a small tire No Prep Kings.
I don't care about the No Prep King thing. I just want to be able to go race and have fun and be competitive, and the 4-link just leaves me so many more options with the way I can set the car up. I can set it up for whatever I want to do. The 4-link is infinite possibilities. Ladder bars, you got like 3 selections, and it's kind of limited. So,
Tell us about the transmission.
when I was doing it, I was going to put a Mark Mickey 3-speed in it. And David's like, man, I can call Greg Liberty and have him put us a Liberty in this thing. And we'll have way more infinite gear selections. We'll have less slippage. He goes, with our small block, we're going to want it. We're going to need all the help we can get with the small block. So it's got a Bruno drive with the 4-speed Liberty in it.
Who's converter?
It's got a nil chance full billet converter.
I like it. He made notes.
I got notes of everybody that helped me on the car because I've been so. I mean, you can ask you for the car came home 2.5 weeks ago. And when the car came home, the AC got turned on in the shop, and I was in the shop till 2 o'clock every morning.
No, I beg to differ because I came out that first night and the AC was not.
It was
working.
broke. It was the AC didn't work. And Aaron Anderson, I called Aaron Anderson over there to fix the damn AC. And Aaron came over and fixed the AC and got it working.
Buddy, A.A. Ron.
Yeah.
A Ron.
So.
Tell us about. Okay, so Mark Banner did the paint work, and it took a little while because there was. We can talk to Mark about this too if he wants to come on, but he did some extra features to this car. It has actual backup lights in the carbon fiber rear bumper cover.
Yeah, it's got backup lights, it's got fog lights, it's got turn signals, it's got the factory grill, it's got factory headlights. I mean, it's got
side marker lights.
It looks like it looks like a street car except for the bullhorns hanging out behind the front tires. I mean, it's even got the OnStar antenna on it.
That's awesome.
So I mean,
and we wanted to do a walk around of it, but the internet here wouldn't allow for the second camera, so we're doing what we can. We turn the camera around so you can see it. But the wing is wrapped in the same carbon fiber that the Copo is on the side of the car, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, Mark kept calling me, dude, I think I want to do this to the car. I go, dude, I don't care. Just give me my car back. Just paint it and get it back. I don't care what it is. So he came up with all the, I kind of talked about doing the Copo stuff. So he came up with all the carbon fiber stuff on the car. I said, dude, I just want it green, and I just want the car back.
And it's the exact same color as the original Mean Green. Steve,
yes.
Did you post that video from YouTube in there from when James K ran the Nick Kalergis and I mean, that's probably one of your most famous videos, isn't it?
That one's pretty good video.
That was the droll race, the drag race.
Yeah, drag versus roll.
Mm-hmm.
And
some of the other videos.
Just put the link in the comments.
Yeah. That's a cool video.
The wheel stand against Kai Kelly at Cash Days was a cool video.
Yeah, that was cool. And then the testing, we did a testing wheel stand. There's a bunch of videos of us out racing people back 2 years ago when when it was really like hot in Houston to be doing street racing stuff, and all the small tire guys were doing it, and it was fun, and we had a good time. And then it's just kind of, now it's more of a street car deal, and
everybody's kind of gone to no prep.
Everybody's kind of gone to no prep, and it's kind of killed all the street stuff. So,
which in actuality is probably a good thing.
It's safer, But anyways, I got some more people to thank real quick. I got Yancey with Santa. I called him when I got the car, it had Santa's front. Yancey got me the rear shocks. He got them for me real quick, like in a week and a half. So y'all give him hell about that. I'm just playing. It took him like 3 weeks to give me my rear shocks, but I always tell everybody he gets me my stuff right away, and they give him hell. Why does he get favoritism? Doug Ivey and his buddy built the headers for it, and then Salter Racing got me all my safety gear. Judy got me a new 15-layer suit, 5-layer gloves. I got all the parachutes from Salter Racing. The brakes. Travis over there, he gave me a good price on all the stuff. Everything I paid for, nothing was ever given me free on this car.
Travis gives everyone a good price.
Travis gives everybody a good price.
He's trying to hook up everybody. And
he tries to take care of everybody. Like I said, George Lopez came over and spent 2 weeks at the house every night welding brackets on the car and the AN fittings for the radiator. He came over every night, welded all the little knick-knack stuff that you got to do. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to TIG weld that stuff in. I wanted it done good. So he did all that. And then right when I told him he was done, we're done doing that. I put water in the radiator and I had a little leak out of the 20 AN fitting. So I called him back and he came and touched that up. And I was going to put spark plugs in it. And I said, man, I can't get these spark plugs off in my hand in here to get to the spark plugs. So I said, hell, let's cut the strut towers off of it. So then it went from him to doing that and leaving to he came back for 2 more days. We cut the strut towers off all but like 3 inches of the very front, so you can get to the side of the motor now to change plugs. Mm-hmm.
Did he brace it or something?
He braced it. He tubed it all in and put a brace in it. I made sure I contacted some people that are back half people to make sure that they weren't going to throw my ass out. Mm-hmm. And I made sure to let Shannon know, sent her pictures of what I was doing so she could say, yeah, you're fine. She goes, because she actually named the car. She goes, I don't want you to buy another controversial car. So that's what I was naming the car, was controversial. But,
Mean Green, and the other one is now just green.
It's just green.
It's not very mean.
Yeah. And that
580 car.
that one's a Z28, and this one's a Copo car. Which, now I have so much invested in this one, I'm not going to put this one on the street for a while if it ever goes on the street. So I might put the other one back on the street.
That'd be cool.
So just put the 588 back out of the dragster and the other car because they're doing a lot of small tire cash day stuff.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Do you get to run that?
They don't care. 29.5 is the only rule.
Okay.
So, well, right now it's the only rule. So we'll see. I know Mark and him have been going doing a lot of that, and it's fun. Tyler goes and does a lot of it. And
where'd you get the glass came with it?
the glass came with it. And the car came with the car when I got it. JD had it at the body shop, and the guy at the body shop was screwing him around. And then he went and got the car back from the body shop. And he kind of, when they got the body shop screwing him around, he kind of lost his taste for the car. And then, so I guess that's when he sold it. And I bought it. It has a VIN tag. It has a title. I paid taxes on it. I mean, I had to pay all this bullshit. It's a real car. It wasn't something I couldn't put. It was a real car. It's all bracer meets. It's all through the frame rails. It's got the factory floor paint in it. It's all been restitched back in. It's very nice.
Sweet.
It's not thrown back together with MIG welder and stick welders like the other mean green is.
Yeah.
The other mean green is almost a 40-year-old car, and it's junk. It's a death trap. And that's why I didn't want to sell it because I don't want nobody else to get killed in my car.
Well, we will take some pictures of it and post it on High Tech Corvette with the hood, the front clip off, so everybody can see this Nickens Powerplant. Tell us about this motor, because you could buy this motor out of this car.
Yeah, the deal with me and David Nickens made was this motor is for sale out of this car at any time at the end of the race weekend. If you see the car running and you want to buy it, there's a box of parts that comes with it. It has extra rods, pistons, valves, springs, intakes, carburetors, the extra nitrous systems. Everything that you get when you contact David about buying the motor is we will jerk the motor out right there on site. You get everything but the headers and the box of parts, everything that goes with it, the other intake, the other nitrous system.
Now tell us about the engine.
The engine, it's a 454 LS-based engine with a splayed valve, 10-degree dart heads, dart head, dart block. Sheet metal intake is on it right now with dual quads.
And there was something about this block that was special too, right? One of the first ones?
It's the first non-skirted
Yeah,
LS block.
it's the first non-skirted. Like the other dart blocks have a billet skirting that goes between the block and the oil pan. This one is made all the way down to the bottom.
They made it because a lot of the muscle car guys, when they put an LS in it, being a skirted block, it brings the oil pan down so far that it tends to hit. But what this allows you to do is have an LS, but still be able to run a small block Chevy oil pan on it.
Sweet.
So
Very cool.
it's
And so
glad
Bearded
you're
Wonder is back.
yeah, and it's a two-piece. It's a two-piece
Wow.
pan. I mean, it's all David did all the top-notch stuff on it. This is the highest horsepower small block he's ever made, and it's stock bore space, 454 cubic inches. It is not a one-off billet block deal. It's nothing like that. It's a stock bore space deal. I could actually.
And it has water jackets.
Yeah, the short block on this is the same as a short block that's in Judy's car. Our short blocks are identical. Well, she's 440, I'm 454. I have a tall deck, but like I said, the same crankshafts, the same.
You got to tell them what it made on motor?
No, you can find out for a small fee after we get the car lined out. I already have people talking smack that don't know this car's ready, wanting to lock in with me. They think I'm bringing the old car, and you're not getting the old car at the racetrack. We're going to delete the 8, and that's what we're going to come and do with this car.
You're going to delete the 8?
Delete the 8.
Okay, so what?
Well, everybody knows there's some guys in town that call themselves the Elite 8, and there's only a couple of them that I really don't.
Delete the 8.
So I call them the Delete 8. They raced Judy in her street car with their car on 29.5Ws, and they gave her the move and the back tire, and it was a good race. It was tight on the other end. But we're coming to match apples to apples now.
Yeah, not a true street car versus a back half car.
A back half car, and then the passes I saw Junior Johnson making this weekend, I think JT and his junior dragster could outran that slow thing. I don't know who has to have a 275 Pros with wheelie bars on them, but
I've never seen that.
Well, he did a big wheel stand and slammed down.
Oh, last night I think he went some solid 840s in the 8th mile.
Really?
It was pretty legit. I made sure Sunday night.
I didn't see
I was
it.
making sure to go
Speaking
watch
of
him.
Sunday night, you were there, and your boy Tyler Lohman had a good race for the list race.
Yeah, they had a list race, and Tyler and Nick Clergis raced, and Tyler treated him, and and got down there and got there first. The faster car don't always win.
Yeah.
Man, I had no idea that was going on. I was testing. I had my head down working. I missed that. I'm sorry I missed it.
Oh, it was
I
a
got to
good.
see the video though.
It was a good race. It was a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
People in the know why it was a long time coming, but it was good. And afterwards, Nick went up and shook Tyler's hand, told him good race. So
That was very
that was
classy.
very
and
good. So
Very
I
classy.
was glad to hear that. I didn't see it, but I was glad to hear it.
So we're here live with James Kay, the owner of Mean Green, at Westside Chevrolet in Katy, Texas. I-10, the 99 exit both ways, and it was awesome. They allowed us to come back here. We're
And
kind of
who else helps us be here though?
well, I know, but I want to tell them about
Oh.
that they pulled.
Rebecca, I don't know what you're talking about. Me not telling all the story my class is showing. I told the story.
Well, okay, so hang on one second.
She'll respond, I'm sure.
She'll respond.
They-
But we're happy to be here.
We're happy to be here at
Westside
Westside Chevrolet. They pulled the truck that was on the showroom floor off
To let us bring
to let us
in-
here do, because we're usually in our studio in the high-tech Corvette studio, which we love.
Palatial
But-
Estates.
The Palatial Estates, but to be back at Westside Chevrolet is really cool. And to have this car on the showroom floor, I mean, we had employees coming back to work after they'd gotten off.
They stayed late.
They had all the salesmen out here taking pictures of this thing, and
They
they just
loved it.
couldn't believe that this bad boy was on the property.
Yep.
What a cool story for them.
Yep. And we got to thank HP Motorsports for helping us be here.
HP Motorsports supplied. They have helped us with the shirts that you're wearing,
Thunder
the
Roadshow shirts, $20 bucks.
$20, and half goes to Frankie Taylor's nephew,
Paul Taylor.
Jr.
Yeah, Paul Taylor.
So get you a Thunder Roadshow shirt.
Nitrous Outlet, which is on board on the green
Yeah. So what did
Copo
David
here.
say to you when you sent him this intake?
Vassar, well, they already had one because the X275 car that Patterson's on has a similar motor in it. Theirs isn't a tall deck, but it has the same top end on it. It's the same cubic inch. So he already had one of theirs. But when he called me, he's like, what do you want to do with it? I'm like, I want it gangster. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I want it gangster. I don't care what you do to it. I want it gangster. And he goes, well, what are you spraying? I said, I'm spraying all of it. And he goes, well, what does that mean? I said, I want 2 kits
What
on
does
it,
that
and I'm
mean?
spraying all of it. He said, so I'm like, just flow it for everything. I said, I don't want to not be able to do whatever I want to do. I want to flow it for all of it. And this motor, this combination is really, as far as I know, with this head and stuff, hasn't really been tested that much on any car. So we're kind of guinea pigs on this deal, but our dyno numbers are fabulous, and it makes a lot more power than my 588 ever thought about making. And it's a high winding. It's going to be when you hear the car go down the racetrack, it's not going to be like, was that one of the other cars? Or you're going to know what car that was when it's zinging down through
You're
there.
gonna know in the burnout box because a small block just.
It's throaty. Yeah. It is throaty, but it's.
But when it gets to that high RPM,
at about 95, 9800 RPM, it's going to be singing.
9,800.
When we dynoed it, we just stopped pulling. It was still picking up 10 horsepower per 100 RPM. We just stopped. David just stopped pulling it.
You could take it to 10.
Your buddy Bobby Dakota.
Oh, they built one. Bob Book built one, and they made 1,200 and something horsepower out of a 300 and
Like a cop eliminator style setup.
That was Australian Pro Stock.
Yeah.
And it went 1,200 something horsepower. And we have and if we want to do some NA stuff, we have the head gaskets to take this thing to 16-1 from 13-1 that's at right now.
Wow.
Cool.
David,
So the weight on it can go X275 weight if it needs to, or
It won't run X275 because it's got a 4
4 link. The 4 link won't let it run X275.
okay.
So the big deal with that was that the Copo 4 link is still triangulated like a Mustang, or
No, it's panhard bar.
No, I mean, but the 2 upper bars go in at angles like that, or
No,
They're just shorter.
they're shorter. The topper bars are shorter and go in like under the trunk pan, and the other ones go down underneath the back. But if you go look under one of the Mustangs that are on the X275 that have that welded-in Pro Mod deal in the back of them, I mean, what's the difference?
Same thing.
Same difference to me.
With
But
all the bolt holes and all
30
that.
different. You can set the instant center however you want to do it. Blah 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 blah.
At this point, with all the interest in X275, how much faster, Bob, would a 4-link car be than Kenny Hubbard's or J.D. Campbell's ladder bar car?
Well, with converter and tire technology being what it is, probably not any. I really don't think
We've
so.
been 103 in the Nova, and I don't see you going much with us on a 275. That's
That's pretty stout.
fucking getting it, and that
It
was at 3,000 pounds with the Nickens 588,
Right. At 4 links, not going to go faster than
and that was 100 pounds heavy, and we went 103.
So, I mean, maybe one day we could see 4 links allowed in X.
John said no.
No.
John said no, not at this point, but I don't know. We'll see one day.
If he says no, it's no.
If he says no, it's no.
Yeah.
Will this car be fast enough to run LDR anyway?
I don't think so. It's too heavy. You know, these cars are hard to get light.
So
It's a big car.
So this car was built by Brinks Racecraft out of the DFW area, and Andy Parks.
Andy Parks did the. I think Andy. I heard Andy Parks redid the back half of it or something.
Okay.
I don't know for sure.
And Andy Parks is a genius.
Yeah, he built JD's car.
Yeah.
Did a lot of work on JD's car, and
Yeah.
It
I
was
think
really-
I think
440 at 158 or something
Yeah.
is what JD's going.
but JD's a couple hundred pounds lighter than this car is.
Yeah.
But from all the cars I've seen of this body style, this is one of the lightest ones, the lightest fifth gens I've seen that hasn't been gutted. I mean, I'm sorry, it's been gutted, but there still has stock floor pans in it. You know, it's not a carbon fiber body; it's still roof and quarters. I know that the red car from their show weighs like 3,000 pounds, but I know it's got twin turbo big tires. I don't know what Kai's car weighs, but I'm sure it's heavier than this one. You know, with that 903 in it. I know it's a billet block 90.
Bobby Ducote wants to know if it'll peel out.
It'll peel out. We peeled it. I literally got the rear axles in it at 3 o'clock, set on the ground, pulled out in the driveway, did a burnout, and drove it up on the open trailer, sprayed it off with a water hose, and I'm here.
Well, we really appreciate you thrashing to get it here for the show because we wanted to do a reveal. We didn't know if we were going to do it on the No Prep Hour, which we haven't done one of those in a while, or whatever. And I thought, hey, if it's this close, let's just put it on tonight's show. And you worked your butt off and got here, and you probably drove 100 miles an hour on 99 to get here.
As fast as we could go. So
With it on an open
it
trailer.
was on an open trailer life. It's streetcar problems.
Yeah.
So, but it goes either tomorrow. I think David called me. I talked to David on the way here about he's gonna help me set the chassis up and help me do all the chassis work on it. So he set the 4-link up and set the rod height and
Nickens
stuff.
is?
Nickens is.
He's done that like once or twice.
Yeah, so he has.
You guys run Pro Stock, Comp Eliminator, you name it. I mean,
He's got it. He's got it down. So I'm going to take the car over to his shop. We're going to set the 4-link up, and I hope to have it out at H&P this weekend testing. I'm not sure on that. I don't know about that, but that's where I hope to.
But you're going to be testing. You're not necessarily going to go out there and try to set up something.
No, I'm not going to set up nothing yet. But as soon as I get the car figured out, we'll definitely be out. This car is built to do. I want to see how fast it is. See if I can do the small block no clock stuff. It's definitely going to Georgia to run small block no clock because we'll be in Georgia anyway doing the radial stuff with the Limited and the X cars.
Yeah, that'll be a good place for it to fit in.
So what has Patterson said about it?
They haven't seen it. I mean, they've seen pictures of it and stuff. I've been sending Thomas pictures of it. Richard called me the other day and asked me, how close I was and if there's anything he could do to help me get it done or any closer. And I said, no, sir. I'm just waiting on a few last-minute parts, and it'll be ready to go.
Good deal.
And so, I mean, they've seen pictures of it. I've showed them pictures of it and sent them a little video of it, the walk around when I had it sitting down with the tires just sitting underneath it with no axles. And
so what does it feel like? Okay, you bought Mean Green and it was red, and you were bracket racing it, and you built Judy's car kind of from scratch, and nothing against Judy's car, but it is a True Street car. To build one of this caliber that's going to be this badass and is this nice. I mean, I know when I walked over there, you're like, I'm just going to hit it with a wrench and get it over with.
Yeah. You're gonna be fucking it up every time you take it out.
That's exactly it. When we put it in the shop and I had blankets and stuff all over it, and Mark is over there and I'm walking around it like with the drill, putting Zeus's in it, and he's over there cringing and jumping around and screaming and hollering. And
did y'all see Gordy the other night with tape on his fender where his burnout was gonna get on the back quarter? Come on.
So I
Just
mean,
race it.
it's
not a show
a
car.
race car,
Yes.
But to Gordon's dad probably put a lot of hard work in on that
Yeah,
car. So
he
Gordon,
did. I know
Gordon's dad's a real nice individual.
Yeah.
I won't say that much about him, but Gordon's dad is very nice. And I have a lot of his dad's very nice.
Hey,
person.
Gordon's a fan of the show. We love Gordon.
Yeah, and the car looks great.
The car looks nice.
You can tell he worked hard on
Yeah,
it.
his
Especially
dad
from where it
worked. His
was.
dad worked very hard on it.
Especially from where it was.
So-
So anyway, the car looks great.
Okay,
man.
so-
Can't wait to see it run.
I don't want to is there anything else that you have? Let's talk to Mark about the paint job a little bit, and then we'll
Yeah.
get you back on and talk to you about the
Dr.
rest of
Mark.
it. Mark, come on. Collision Craftsman in the house.
Mark Banner.
Did you bring food?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's right, because we're going to Hooters.
He brought his wallet though.
You're buying Hooters
I'll buy
after
dinner tonight. It's on me.
It's on. Mark
Fish
Banner, Collision
tacos, right,
Craftsman.
Sergio? Fish tacos.
Hey, y'all go share this. We're here at Westside Chevrolet, I-10, the Katy Freeway in Katy, Texas. 99 exit both ways. But Mark, this car is not black.
It's not black.
How did you do that? Not black.
I mean, I know you own a body shop and all, but something you take
It's
something
what the
like
man
this-
wanted.
right?
It's what the man wanted. He
Well,
got what he wanted.
you painted Sean Wilhoit's car, and it's not black either.
It's silver.
It looks
Pretty.
great too. It
You've
does.
Race
done some
cars.
amazing race car work, which is not your bread and butter.
No, it's not. But you know, James is a good friend of mine. And I wanted to make sure he had a nice car. So I know someone else that had a green Fifth Gen, and so got to copy that. No, it's
Mine,
pretty.
if
Turned out
mine
good.
looks this good, I'm telling you, mine needs some love. Mine needs to go to
The Collision Craftsman,
to get
yeah.
touched
We can make
up.
it happen.
Really
But no,
does.
it turned
It's-
out good for what the
it's-
car was before. That thing was pretty raw.
So,
So,
we're going to get to the paint side of it, but let's talk about what you did with the front clip.
well, I wanted to make it look like a real car. You know, so many of those cars that are out there now are just, you know, fiberglass front end, stickers, and just, you know,
Sticker
I wanted to make it
headlights.
look nice, you know, like a real car that it should be, you know. That's just my deal.
Yeah, it always has been because all of your cars in the black collection are amazing.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
so you cut the front out for an actual grill.
But the grill, a lot of that, so the grill was actually in it,
Oh, was
but
it?
it was not finished. It was kind of blah. So I finished it, put corner lights in it, put fog lights, and put reverse lights in the back. You know, just to
Real
make it-
reverse lights?
Real reverse lights. You know, to make it, just make it the details what make a car like that.
Extra
you know?
mile with those little
Extra,
details. Yes.
It's not just your typical grudge car that's all, you know, fiberglass and, you know.
Right.
So if you can, go ahead and do it. Why not?
Yeah. So then you had some issues with actually spraying the paint on it. Tell us about that story.
What people don't realize, a lot of these race cars, the thin fiberglass, when you get that stuff, it's like a sponge. It soaks up everything, you know. So when you get them, you need to protect it right away. You need to put something on it, primer, you know, put good primer on it, you know,
Sealer.
to seal it off. And then you can leave it in the corner and you can wipe on it. But the car was raw fiberglass, somewhat of a primer gel coat on it. And from being built and being at so many different shops and everybody, as I say, coon fingering it and rubbing their hands all over it,
Coon fingering? Is
yeah,
that in the
coon-
dictionary?
It is. They coon fingered it. Haven't you ever seen a coon they eat?
Oh yeah.
They wipe the food. Yeah.
I had to
Raccoon.
clarify that because I didn't
Raccoon.
know where you were going with this.
No.
Raccoon.
We just lost the show, by the way.
No.
They're kicking us off.
No. But anyway, so somebody had wiped something on the car at one time, I guess. I don't know. And like I said, the fiberglass is porous. And it just when I put primer on it, it just totally fish-eyed.
Oh, man.
all the trunk and the hood, and then it just had a lot of hairline cracks from being put in the corner and people pushing on it, and the tip of the corner, you know, broke off, and so just a lot of work.
Yeah.
Stripping it, repriming it, washing it with lacquer thinner like 3 times,
Wow.
trying to get everything out of it. So that because I called James and said, hey, what do you want to do? I recommended buying a new hood, new front clip, but he was like, you know, do what you want to do. I said, well, let me keep playing with it. So, you know, time
Way
and
more
material.
work to do a race car than just a regular old street car, huh?
Yeah.
It
is.
really is.
It is a lot of behind the scenes stuff people don't realize. You know, and the car's still not finished. It's got some little details. Me and James are going to try to help finish up before it goes out. So,
Yeah.
So,
but it's a pretty car.
and then you had someone come over and put the Copo
Yeah,
striping.
I had that stripe is actually a design that I had come up with. I seen a 2012 convertible. They had one, and I was trying to find something that wasn't too wild, that was just enough taste, you know, so that would be easy to duplicate if we ever needed to. But I've got other sets of those made already,
Cool.
just in case he wants to decide to go drifting with it.
Yeah.
Nah.
I've seen him drive. There's a very good chance that it might get close to a wall.
It'll
or
be
a
fine.
barn.
It'll be
Right,
fine.
right. So,
But no, he does drive the car very
yes.
well. So
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
You
got-
might want to take it up to the store or something, though, huh?
Yeah.
We've seen him
Sonic.
do
Seen him
You
do
know-
that. Yeah, it'll be driven around
Yeah.
New Caney, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm
that. Daly was low on fuel one day.
Yeah. Street car.
Street car.
Really
Looks
looks
on.
It
good.
looks
But
amazing.
turned out
Collision
good.
Craftsman. I mean, these projects you take on
One at a time.
One at a time.
And I don't really advertise to do it. I just do it really for the racers to help them guys out. I know what the struggle is about race cars. I've been around it for a long time. A lot of top fuel guys and boat guys, and they're always struggling, you know. So I want to try to help out the guys that I can when I can. You know, if I got an opening and they're legitimate guys and need help at that time, I'll do it. You
Yeah.
know,
And of course, this being the end of the project,
Yeah.
they're pushing and pushing
Oh,
and
yeah.
pushing. But
yeah.
You got to take your time and do it right, and
Yep.
you did, obviously.
Thank you.
And your bread and butter though is just automotive repair, a lot of
Late model collision.
repair, you know.
Late model collision. Stuff you can get parts for and deliver it in 1 or 2 days. This thing was at my shop for, I think 2 months.
Okay.
So
Shop is on Brittmore,
Yes, sir.
and what was the cross street?
1729 Brittmore.
So if you got your Mercedes or your Corvette or your Camaro or your truck or whatever,
Whatever.
Collision Craftsman will take good care of it.
You
I
want it
sent
to
a
shine,
customer
bring
over
it to
there,
them.
Yep.
and she was totally thrilled by the service and the work you did, and was so surprised that you got it out like the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
We can do
awesome.
that.
yeah,
Just not race cars.
not race
Not
cars.
race
They
All
take
right.
time.
Well, hey, thanks for coming out. Thanks for telling us all about
No problem,
the
guys.
work you did on this beautiful car, and you know, we're glad to have you here.
Thanks.
on
Thanks
the
for
show
having me.
again.
Appreciate it.
James
Good job.
Bob.
has
seeing
got
you.
You too, buddy.
a important phone call. He's gonna have to get off if we're gonna end this show with him on it. But hey, thank you so much, Mark.
While we're waiting, we're going to thank again HP Motorsports,
HP Motorsports.
Moser Engineering.
Real quick, I want to tell. I gotta tell the story. There's an on-field media. There will be tomorrow. There's going to be an article that I wrote, and I got to tell the story about what happened at No Prep Kings. That is the bigger story than the chip gate that happened with the chips. The big story, Bob, and you know about this, was that Pilgrim Productions hired Jim Hughes to run the tech department at the events this year. And Jim Hughes, being a former sportsman racer and just very well known sportsman racer, formerly owned Hughes Torque Converters, now owns Tucson Dragway. Jim Hughes enlisted the help of Lonnie Grimm. Lonnie Grimm is a silver level chassis cert guy, which means that he's one of only one chassis cert guys that can build his own chassis and certify that chassis. And they were there at Topeka. Now, have you run at Topeka, Bob?
Yes.
You know where the scales are at Topeka.
Yes.
Heartland Park, Topeka has
They
the
are
coolest
in their own
track.
building.
In an air-conditioned building, nonetheless.
Because it's windy there, and wind affects the scales when you're trying to weigh your car. If you're blowing from the back, it'll lift the car up and make the car light.
Yeah.
And so to take that out of the equation, they put it in a building.
A beautiful building.
Freaking awesome.
So here's the big story, though. A lot of these racers have, and that's why James Kay, I wanted him back on, because he's been called on to do appearances twice at NHRA events because he's licensed, because his car was certified. And some of these racers that have been competing at this no prep grudge level didn't have certs on their cars, didn't have an NHRA or IHRA license. Well, the rules for No Prep King says that you must have an NHRA or IHRA license depending on what track you happen to run at. So if you're going to Memphis, it's an IHRA track, and you only run that track, and that's probably the only event you're going to go. You're required to have an IHRA license, but NHRA covers both of them. So what they did was they had Robbie Parks, related to Wally Parks, who created the NHRA, on the premises, right? He's the Division 5 director for
Yeah.
NHRA. He's been with NHRA for 38 years. He is very into the no prep thing. He's into the fact that No Prep Kings is getting racers off the street and bringing them to the track, getting fans off the street and getting them at the track. And they certified 20 cars, and 28 racers left Topeka, Kansas with NHRA license in hand.
Sweet.
That's a big deal.
Very big deal.
Considering that there was some pushback from the NHRA a couple of years ago where they said if you continue to film on the street, Mike Murillo got a letter. There was a lot of people that got letters saying that they were going to lose their NHRA license.
They did what it took to get licensed, including bringing in a physician to do the physicals.
Yes. There was a physician on the property all weekend.
Sweet, man. I mean, that's a big undertaking, and Jim Hughes getting behind that is a key part to making that happen.
So I wrote a story about it. It will be on Field Media. We'll share it everywhere on the Thunder Roadshow page, on my page, that y'all need to read. But it's a very cool deal to have them working together to try to get racers safer and make sure their cars are certified, make sure they have the right safety gear and they're running the right gear for what they're. A lot of guys don't know if you have a boosted car that runs quicker than 490 in the eighth, you're supposed to have the same gear as a blown alcohol car.
Yep.
And a lot of racers don't know that.
You're supposed to have a 20 suit,
A 20 suit.
15 or 5 gloves, 5 series gloves, 5 series shoes,
And this is the Better with Bob segment.
right into it. You know, I was just there thinking, why aren't we doing better with Bob this week? We're skipping that shit. What?
Nope, we're doing
Nope.
it right now, impromptu.
But yeah, when you have the boosted application, it definitely changes things. You got to have the boots, and you
Even
gotta,
without methanol, you have to have that if it's boosted.
yes,
But faster than 490 in the eighth.
yep,
You got true street cars with guys that are not even wearing gloves.
bad idea. I've seen too many videos of guys making passes without their window net up.
Yeah.
And until your arm is flailing out the side of your car upside down, maybe you won't use your window net. That might be what it takes to get you to do it. But believe me, there's been lots of people that have done that, and that's why we have them. So,
I've seen that firsthand at Temple.
have you?
The guy wrecked his car on the big end. The whole rear end came out of the car. He rolled it. His hand came out. The guy between the roll bar took all his fingers off there at his knuckles, and there was fingernails and skin on the racetrack where we were like down there where he stopped crashing, so we like ran to the car to help shut it off, and
Right.
I mean it was just blood just rolling out of him, and yeah, no window net.
And had he had a window net, that probably wouldn't have happened.
Window net was in there laying on the floor.
And you can see, to attest to it, Barry Nicholson was in a horrific crash filming for Street Outlaws.
Yeah.
He's a chassis guy.
Yeah.
He had all the right safety equipment. It saved his life.
Yep.
You know,
He was lucky.
You rolled a car once, Bob.
Not
Right?
rolled
Or
it.
you crashed a car.
Crashed a car.
top sportsman car, right?
No,
No,
it was
no.
super gas.
Super gas?
150 mile an hour at the finish line. Got put in the wall, and yeah, it was a testament to the car builder and the safety equipment that I was wearing. Because David Bird Jones made a post earlier this week that said, it's not if, but when you crash. When you're driving something fast, shit happens fast, and it's going to get away from you. There's going to be times when you can't physically react to what's happening, and
A
you got to be
10-second
prepared.
car, quarter-mile car, can hit some fluid on the track.
Training line blow off,
Yeah,
something small like that.
Parts failure can certainly do damage, and that's why Ronnie Odom I see was in here. There's a deal with San Antonio, and you got to have a diaper to run there now.
Yeah.
If you're running anything
diaper
with a
or a
power,
pan.
anything with a power adder has to have, and anything with slicks has to have, some sort of retention device. And I think it's a good idea. I think it should be a rule at every racetrack, and even if,
It's a
racetrack,
courtesy thing at this point.
the racetrack themselves should buy those products and make them available to racers at cost, because $150 buys that real cheap, inexpensive diaper that could save a car and save downtime.
Well, I've been talking to Jim Hughes, and I've talked to Gary Peltier,
Yeah.
and some of these track owners are going to start carrying harnesses too, because I've tech cars personally have tech cars in with harnesses that are 18 years past the date. The harnesses are hard to bend and not flexible.
Yeah.
And we did the Better with Bob. Our first one was about harnesses. And,
Yeah.
These guys, they're 2 years, guys.
Yeah,
And
for a reason.
because like you said, your car's outside in the staging lanes. The sun is beating down on it, deteriorating these threads that sew the harness together. Not the material,
Right.
but the threads that has to lap over and be sewn.
Yeah.
And those deteriorate and they could break.
Yep, absolutely. The safety equipment is the most important equipment in the car. You don't need an engine if you don't have your helmet on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
in 1399 and faster is where you got to have a helmet. That's a pretty damn slow car.
yeah, I would say that all the no prep guys go faster than that.
Yeah.
So
Even the daily driver class.
Daily driver class is fast.
it is. That
And
looks fun.
Yeah, I'm going to be running the Thunder Wagon in the daily driver class in Memphis.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like I said, I went to all 15 layer, 5-layer gloves. It's gonna get full belly pins underneath it. I'm gonna start building those tomorrow. And it's
Belly
gonna get,
pans are really cool.
I like the belly pins. I don't like the blankets because they keep heating the motor.
Yes.
And everybody says no, it doesn't. Well, the oil pan is dissipating heat like a sumbitch if you've ever been underneath the car after it's ran.
Yeah.
And heat's trying to get out of there. So I'm gonna do belly pins under. I got billet pins under Judy's car. I put belly pins under Tyler's car. I'm gonna put
It's really a courtesy to the rest of the people they're racing.
Well,
'Cause if
yeah,
you
not
have
only
an
that,
issue-
it's courtesy to yourself so you don't tear your own
Well,
shit up. If
you-
can
you
hold
spend
what you drop.
spend 3 hours making a belly pan, or you can get some transmission, come down and stick that bitch in the wall and tear the back of it off, and Mark has it for 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's easier on yourself too if you want to stay racing, and it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
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 And like I said, I got all 15-layer stuff now, 5-layer gloves. Salter Racing will take care of you on all that stuff. He'll give you a real good deal.
What kind of jacket and pants you get?
I got Sparco.
Me too. I love
The
that
Sparcos
stuff.
are so soft.
Very comfortable, and Travis will hook you up on a great deal.
My Simpson 5-layer is like hard, and it's kind of, it's real stiff.
Stiff,
The
yeah.
Sparco is super. Even the 15-layer sucks because it's so hot, but it's like,
Yeah.
it reminds me of like a snow, almost like a snow jacket with the goose down in it. It's just how soft they are,
Yeah.
and you can move in them good and flex, and
Yep.
I can still reach over and turn my CO2 bottles on, and
Very comfortable.
so
Very
there's
comfortable.
Oh, and
Salter
by the way,
Racing.
your bag with your stuff right there, Sergio's sitting on it.
Cool.
Nitrous outlet to the front.
Yeah, David Vassar got me my bracket.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
did
the
you
only
bring
thing I'm
one of those
missing.
fancy hats from?
No, I didn't get any gear. That's just his hard lines. I mean, his flexible lines and his.
Mark don't know nothing about nitrous. He don't need that.
So big shout out to Nitrous Outlet because they are hooking the Thunder Wagon up with a boomerang plate and the new black solenoids and hard lines for the Hornet plate, which is a dual entry plate, which is going to be cool.
You like dual entry, huh?
Only on my Nitrous.
Speaking of dual entry, that was Bobby that called me a while ago.
Oh, was it?
Bobby's always dual entry.
We're not even going to say the penetration word here.
Okay.
So anyway, beautiful
8:30
car.
almost. We're gonna have to wrap this. deal
Yep.
up.
So 2 minutes, but hey, we want to shout out to HP Motorsports, Nitrous Outlet, Mosier Engineering. Mosier does a great job. They've got the
Mosier third member.
Mosier third member.
Boom.
They've got also, speaking of Copos and 5th gen Camaros and 6th gen Camaros, they have a 9-inch conversion to take the IRS out and make your Camaro go fast.
Your Corvette.
And your Corvette. But they also have the Camaro one.
Yep.
So Mosier Engineering is awesome. We love the support they give.
Da
And
Vinci carburetor.
Da Vinci carburetors. Da Vinci's the man. He does all my carburetors. He does all the Bob's. He does all the James's. James has like 85 carburetors in his shop.
Barney Roofing.
Barney Roofing. If you need a roof done, he's in the San Marcos area, but he will travel anywhere in Texas. So check out varneyroofing.com.
West Side Chevrolet.
You know, he started that business like with nothing and has 15 employees now and does contracts a lot more if he needs them.
Sweet.
James, did you notice that Judith,
The Fireball Cup.
Fireball Cup in honor of you with my unsweet tea in it? So,
The video came up of Jerry whooping your butt at NRG yesterday.
oh,
Did
did
the
it?
memories?
yeah,
The
the memories. The memories. Of,
Does that mean that Dig Night NRG was a year ago? Because I saw
it's 2
me-
years ago, wasn't it? 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
That means that was the first race I ever announced. That means yesterday I announced. I've been announcer for 2 years.
They haven't got any better.
Oh, not any better. I still suck balls. Anyway, I can't believe I just said that.
I can't believe you said it either.
On the radio too.
Yeah.
On the air. Safety first, Ben Strickland.
So
All right.
we also want to shout out to Westside Chevrolet, thank them for the table and bringing it, letting us put the car on here.
Yep.
And
Thank you, West Side Chevrolet.
Burn out in the showroom floor here in
Rowdy.
about 15 minutes.
yes,
Rowdy is the man.
Rowdy Robertson even
Come
hung
see
out
him.
for a little bit. And but you got to come see these guys. Check out the ZL1. Mark's in there going to buy another Camaro right now. I can see him. He's talking to the sales manager.
Judy's been looking.
Man,
Has she?
She liked the black ZL1 they pulled off the showroom floor. She misses our black ZL1 we had.
that's the one we did the walk around of today.
Oh,
that's the commercial that
beautiful
played tonight.
car.
So
I had a 2014.
me and Michael, me and Steve Muncie did that one because Michael Cole wasn't here, right? You were busy.
No, I was there. It was.
What did me and
It was right there. I did it, but then when Muncie.
what did we do, Muncie? Did we do the ZR? Yeah, the ZL1. So
Yeah.
we're glad to have the Bearded Wonder back in studio. Feels good, doesn't it? So anyway, hey, thanks James for rushing over here, bringing the card, letting us do the reveal.
That was really cool.
Thank
you.
I was so worried. I know you wanted to get pictures out, and I was like, dude, please let us do the reveal.
It was so hard not to post pictures of it, and you know.
I had them too, and you're like, no, I'm not sending it to you because you're gonna want to post it. I'm like, no, I want to do the reveal.
I sent a video to Billy Smith of the walk around like I sent you, and he sent it to JD, and JD sent like text me and just BMF.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm so sick, it's a BMF.
He's, I tell you, I know JD very well. His car is nice like this, and well put together like this, and he had his hands on this car, and so he couldn't have sold it to somebody and been happier.
Well, I know when he sold it, he's like, man, this guy's never gonna finish this car. You know, this freaking street guy's and destroy this thing and have it all baling wire and duct
Take
tape
it out unpainted and all that.
Yeah. And then he saw the picture of it and he's like, dude, green isn't even my color and that bitch is bad.
It really is.
It really is. So what are you gonna do on stickers?
Nothing.
What you
You're not
see
gonna
is
put your
what you
sponsor
get.
stickers on it?
I got my NFG sticker going on the A pillar.
No F's given.
No F's given.
0 F's given, right? Or
It's no F's given.
No F's, yeah.
And then
yeah.
that's about it. I mean,
So green maybe on the back window? Green stickers, all their logos?
yeah, I might do a green Santa, a green Nitrous Out, and a green Nickens Power and Da Vinci. But that's all. I mean, like
That's
I said,
it.
everybody knows they support me. I tag them and everything. They're
Yeah.
great guys.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all go share this post before you leave this show. We
Yeah.
appreciate everybody. We'll be we may be on the road next week because Brian's going to be on vacation. So the Thunder Road Show, we're going to figure out and we'll let you know where we're at. We may be doing another reveal because we have a Dewey Bowie reveal to do. So
Okay.
maybe we can make that happen next Tuesday and it'll be 2 reveals in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
we'll go to his shop maybe.
Redemption coming up this weekend in Amarillo for those of you going, and we're going to work out and get this deal so we can get Varney back on next week. But hey,
Grease your wheel bearings and check your tires before you leave on that hot road.
yes, check
Thank
your
you.
trailers out, make sure the brakes are working, make sure the
Grease the wheel bearings, put some grease in them, and check the tires.
You got it.
Hot road.
road. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I hope everybody likes